Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, in the book, where I do what I do for you. I got some nice for you today. Ooh, this is some good information. You know how we do. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I'm giving you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. Man, I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. And I ask you the question, which is, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's rhetorical. If you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. That's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. Excuse me. Excuse me. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to my yacht, be true. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. We about to get, if you're a student of this philosophy, you about to get some good lessons. Let's go. Because this one is right thinkers. Let's talk about my yacht as the spiritual path of righteous action. That's what keeps me doing what I do for you. My Mayat philosophy, okay? Doing what? Righteous action. This is a righteous action for me to help you, okay? That's the concept. Let's go. Mayat, for all those who don't understand, she's the equivalent to the Chinese concept of the Tao, or as they know it, the way. If you're a follower, man, Alan Watts, that's his thing. Okay, he do a lot of the Chinese stuff, so he's big on the Tao and the way of nature. And this way of nature, from the Tao and Tai, the Tao and the Ti Chang, the main text of the Taoism, it represents the harmony. Again, balance, they call it harmony. Okay, two things working together is harmony. Balance, harmony, same thing. But the two things opposite can work together. Harmony of what? Human and divine. Physical and spiritual in the same body. You are twofold. When you speak, who's listening? And when the other part of your body is speaking, who's that speaking? Because it's you listening. Understand that. Okay. When you reach that level of understanding, that's becoming enlightened. And when you have human and divine universal consciousness, God is all conscious. When you become conscious individually of who you are, now you are God conscious, and you and God are now one. You gotta think alike, talk alike, act alike. That's being godly. Okay. Also, Mayat may be linked or likened with the Indian idea of the Dharma, okay, or what they call the ethical value. Everybody had a code of honor or code of ethics or a moral code that they set for. In the Egyptians, Mayat is ours, okay? So in ethical values of life, the teachings related to the karma yoga philosophy, the yoga spiritual discipline, which right thinking philosophy follows and practice, which emphasizes, here you go, selfless service. One of my favorites. That's why I do what I do. That's a selfless service and a philosophy that I practice and I live by. And the attitude that actions are being performed by who? God. Who is what? Working through you instead of what? Your personal ego self. Dun, 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 dun. If I'm living for me, I'm living for myself, my ego self. I've done that. I've seen people do that. I know what that is. But you got a whole bunch of people perpetrating like they doing God work, who they'll get dealt with. But those who really do God's work, you know the difference between the two. Okay? And if it's you, shame on you. Why? Because you're going to be dealt with. So whatever you gain here, perpetrating, don't worry, it ain't going nowhere. Trust me, neither are you. Moving on, just a little personal jab at y'all fakers. Okay? Y'all think nobody know you faking? God knows your heart. So, moving on. I just gave that lesson, so I don't deal with y'all no more. I don't have to. That's God's job. That's karma's job. That ain't my job. Moving on. But understand this. When God, if you're in the flesh, that means God is working through you. Hello? If you let him, God is working through you to what? You listening? To serve humanity. I don't know who gets this lesson. I just got a comment from a guy in West Africa. Bam. I appreciate that. Why? It don't make a difference where you're at, the distance. The message is going to be clear to anybody who wants to hear it. That's why I do what I do for you. And that's humanity, I guess. So I'm right where I need to be. And which is also essentially God. Even all your Buddhists, monks, utter the prayer. What? I go to the Buddha for refuge. That's their philosophy. That's what they practice. That's what they do. Christians do this in any philosophy that your religion that you follow. You're going to have a phrase, a saying, a mantra, or whatever it is, words of heck, a chant, whatever it is, hymns that represent what you follow. It's okay. Understand that. And because nobody follow what you follow, don't make them wrong. Wise man explained to me, and that's what I listen to. You got two guys. One believe in God, one don't, and they both right. Paradox, how could that be? Every individual entitled to his own opinion and right to do just that. See? But guess what? The one who don't believe, he had to find out for himself. And one who do believe, if he don't produce and prove what he know, he won't get nothing either. So it don't make a difference what you believe, it's what you do. And when you go to the Dharma for refuge, that's like people going to the Bible, Muslim going to the Quran, same thing. And I go to the monastic order for refuge. What Christians go to the monastery. I'm not going nowhere. I got my lab. I built my own little spot. Why? I'm not going away from, I ain't got time for none of that. I ain't not going to Himalayas. I love that nonsense. No, I'll come right here in my lab and do everything I need to do right here. I created my own world for that purpose. That's what, okay? And the Buddhist aspirant, if you're a Buddhist, you're admonished to take refuge in the Buddha, which is fine, okay? One's innate Buddha consciousness, same thing like God, to them, Buddha is God, and the Dharma, which teaches, and you got the Sangha with the company of enlightened personalities. Again, like the God and Goddesses, they had their philosophy. But the following statement from chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Vedas, will show how Lord Krishna, which is just like Christ, just like Haru, admonished his followers to do what? To seek sanctuary where? In him. As Jesus did hundreds of years when? Later. He wasn't the first to say that. Just putting it out there. This is all for educational purposes. It ain't personal. And now watch this. In number 32, chapter 32, O Arjuna, it says, those who took refuge in me. Every spiritual leader will tell you, come through me. Didn't try to say the only way through God is through me, whatever. Okay, I understand that. Right thinking is just one venue to get you where you want to be. And that's to know thyself. That's why I do what I do for you. Why? Because that's what worked for me. I don't know somebody else's way. Well, I didn't take that. I took mine. I was asked, well, who's your teacher? Who's your teacher? Right there. Right there. Right there. Anything else was people who guided me along the path to get me where I need to be. So I have no physical teacher. I have, it's a phrase we use, you self-made. I did all my own work. Okay, I got books, I got people who taught me, but I did all the work. I did. So I put my own work in. So I am the master of me. Simple as that. Moving on. Who you want to meet him? You got him. Right thinking? I got all you need to know about right thinking. Why? Because it's mine. Simple as that. Now, if you want to know about Shita Netta, Samatawi, you can go get the books and learn about that. But right thinking philosophy, you can only get from me. No, I don't have no books. Moving on. Jesus, again, also exalted his followers, okay, to bring him their troubles. Bring your burdens to me. Drop them on me. Yeah, my pastor on Wednesday, he does that. We're doing it tonight. Why? He'll take all your troubles, all your prayers, and he offering up to God. And depending on how you living, will decide if the prayer get answered or not. How about that? The pastor ain't the one who control the blessing. You know that ain't his job. He got to earn his blessings just like you do. How about that? And you do that very well. Trust me. Moving on. And that's the name of the game. And he, what? Will give them rest. When you put the prayer on, the pastor take it. When I go to him in prayer, I don't think twice about it. I just drop it on him. Perfect example. I practice the same thing. Okay, so yeah. But Dharma is to be understood as what? A spiritual discipline, again, like Maat, and it's based on righteousness, order, and truth. Reciprocity, okay, justice, everything that's good and divine and prosperous and positive, that's what Maat represents. And anybody who's doing that, they telling you the same thing, okay? Which what? Those qualities which sustain the universe. That's why it's self-sustaining. Reciprocity means one give and one receive. One give, the other one receives, the other give. It goes back and it keeps itself going round and around eternally. In the same way, what? The ancient Egyptian initiate was to lean upon Maat. Practice it. Put it to use. See if it worked. That's the name of the game. And if you put balance in your life, you live an orderly life, you conduct yourself and do things you need to do, what you're doing now, in order to purify his or her heart. That's the purification heart. That's how you purify it, by doing those things. Just gave that lesson. Okay? But watch this. So as to what? Uncover the virtuous character which leads to who? Divine awareness, aka God knowledge, God consciousness, or know thyself, spiritual enlightenment, resurrection, anointment, Christhood, heartshood. You call it whatever you want, but that's what it is. And the only way to get there is to put the work in. My pastor is there. I'm there. We're there. How we got there? Two different ways. Totally two different. I tell some man, I know how you got here because I know the route that you took. How I got here is a totally different way, though. I went up, down, round, and I took the long way. I came up on the rough side because my dude been doing that religious thing, the Bible thing, since I've known him. He ain't deviated, and I'm following him. How about that? I can tell you that. I deal with this guy because I know what he about, and if I'm going to do that, that's what I'm rolling with. And I let him know, my man, I'm with you. But in that fashion, when it comes to what I do, I got mine. We good. So it's funny. But I know any religion practiced and performed correctly will get you to God. How about that? I ain't saying it don't work. No, I never said that. I never said that. Okay, don't put words. No, I said if it's misinterpreted, misunderstood, and it's a lie, you can't get there following a lie. You're going to create your own world by what? Your belief. And that's what belief system is based on. If you can believe it, you can achieve it. Even if it's a lie. Moving on. That's my point. I know the power of belief. I exercise it. Ain't got nothing to do with religion. Moving on. And remember, there are two roads. Here we go. Back again. You got a 50-50 shot with Maat, son. You don't get no better odds nowhere than 50-50. Why? Let me show you. This is what Maat represents. Two roads traveled by mankind. I mean us, human beings. Those who seek to live, Maat, right thinkers, with you. Why? And then you got those who seek to satisfy their animal passions, their selves. That means they're not going to do no selfish acts. They're not going to do righteous and virtuous acts. They're going to do just what serves them. And we got a guy in the White House who do the same thing. Moving on. I get every chance I get to slide it in there. And if we were practicing Maat, he wouldn't even be in that position. People like him don't deserve to be there. Why? You'll see. Moving on. And that's an ancient Egyptian proverb that's been around a long time. Okay? Longer than the blood of Jesus. And guess what? Maat still works too. Moving on. But understand this. It is important here to what? That you can gain a deeper understanding of what is meant by action. What you do. Everything you do, you're responsible for. And if what you do earns you blessings, that means you're doing the right thing. You're doing the virtuous thing. Your integrity is on display. But if you are sneaky, deceitful, cunning, and obnoxious and egotistical, you're going to be dealt with. So it ain't my job to judge you. No, I ain't got time for that. You'll get yours when time is there. Moving on. Just like the blessings, they come to those who deserve them and need them. Those who don't earn them don't get them. No matter how much they pray and all that don't make a difference. You didn't earn it. It ain't yours. You can go to the bank and pray all you want. Oh Lord, have some money in there. Please have some money in there. No money. You put anything in there? Moving on. Now, in the primeval times, before creation, and that's the time that we call the noon. Everybody call it something different. Okay? Pre-dynastic, pre-creation, before primeval time. The primordial ocean existed. Water was here before we started keeping track of time. It's been here. In complete peace, that's what it was, and rest. Nothing was going on. Okay? Full of potential, but nothing happened. Until what? Until when that ocean was agitated. How? With the first thought of God. I'm not buying into we was created in laboratory, spliced and genes cut and took all that and put the man, God, worship code, all that. No, that's fine. I would understand, and it makes more sense to a God that we supposed to all be in uttered himself into existence. I buy that. Okay, if I'm wrong, I can live with that. Why? But that's what I buy it. I just tell you, if I put my belief or my possession in something, my thought process and I'm in. I'm not a little bit, no, I'm all in. I've been in Egypt the last 40 years. So I don't deviate, okay? And if it's going down, I'm going down with it. Why? That's how I am. Simple as that. If you're my friend, until you break the friendship, I'm going down with you. Simple as that. Moving on. That's what it's all about, being real. And here we go, where we at. So now when the ocean was agitated with the first thought of God, remember, he started creation from a thought. He put himself in existence by uttering his name, okay? And the first act was what? The first act he performed. The first act that God performed through what? The subsequent act of what? Of the mind or efforts of the divine thought from the heart. Creation was unfolded out of the mind of God, okay? In the form of the various God's elements and goddess, be they male and female opposites, who form the companies of what we call gods. They represent the qualities, listen, the qualities of nature, be it hot and cold, they go together. Wet and dry, they go together. Up and down. You see where I'm going? Male and female. You see where we're going with this? So it's always been that way. That's called nature, creation. But in the form of pairs of opposites. Sorry about that. And when the first primeval thought emerged from the primeval ocean of what? Pure potentiality. Remember, anything can happen. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. So God conceived what? Creation. And that's what he did. Simple. We all had the same power to do the same thing. Everything starts with a thought. Think about it. Moving on. What's this? This gets good. Now, when the first primeval thought emerged from the primeval water pure potentiality, immediately there was what? There was something other than the single primordial essence, meaning God was no longer alone. He tells you, I was one, I became three, and then I became a multiplicity. From the one came the two, came the rest. That's more than telling me about Adam and Eve populated the world. I ain't buying that. Moving on. But now, watch this. There is a being, hello, who is what? Who is looking and perceiving the rest of the primordial essence. He came up out of the noon. Okay? He created. And this is the origin of duality. The first thing he did was call Maat. Why? I need some order in this piece. Too much chaos. We got him in office, Captain Chaos. The opposite of chaos, the opposite of order is chaos. Chaos is not good. Moving on. It's fair, we call them. And this is the origin of duality. You see me doing this, that's what Maat represents. In the world of what? Time and space. Ever since he put that thing up in the sky, time started to start from that point on. The Big Bang, whatever you want to call it. But now you have what? A triad of human consciousness. Waking state, dream state, and a deep stream state. Or conscious, unconscious, okay, subconscious, however you want to do it, but it's a triad. Everything is in threes, not pairs. After God, everything paired up. But this is the origin of duality and become human conscious. Watch this. Now, instead of there being one entity, here we go, pay attention, there appears to be two, and the perception instrument, which is the mind and your senses of the body, they work together, is the third factor, which comprises the triad of individuals. Me, myself, and I, okay? So therefore, God is hidden in his creation. She Taught Netta is programmed to teach you to find God within yourself. How about that? So hope you get that concept. But the triad, which altogether comprise the content of what? Your human experience. You as a human being. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, okay? And the reason we need to be male or female is for what? Population, reproduction purposes. The spirit don't need that. The physical body do. And there is a perceiver, which is the hidden part of the spirit that's in you, which is the real you. That which is being perceived, which is you, the ego self, okay? The object, you. And then the act of the perception itself through what? The mind, the senses, the physical body, gather information to program the mind to tell it what's going on. Hope you understand that. I see the clock. I got one more paragraph. I'm going to put it down. I got some more stuff here, but this is good information. Hope you understand it. So right quick, let me wrap it up. Now, with this first primordial act, God set into motion what? Events which operate, which is according to what? Regular or ceaseless motion or action, a.k.a. Maat. Okay? This is the foundation upon which the universe is created, and it emerges from the mind of God. Hope you're understanding this. Therefore, if one is able to think and act according to what? The way in which God thinks and acts, you emulate the God and goddesses. Here we go. It's playing out perfect if you follow along. And there, what? Then there will be oneness. With who? With God. Human beings are like what? Sparks of the divine consciousness. We have our own physical body, but the spirit that's in it is from God. That's the spark. Watch this, the spirit. And as such, we are endowed with this thing in our head called the brain, with free will to do what? To act in any given way. You can do good, you can do bad. Again, it's a 50-50 crap. It's not a crapshoot. Why? 50-50. You can't get better odds than that in nowhere. But in life, that's the game that we playing. You can do good or you can do bad. You can do right or you can do wrong. Simple as that. You can believe or not believe. Do or not do. Don't make a difference. But you're given that choice, which God gave you free will. Okay? That thing in your head. And this free will, again, You better use it in the way that's going to benefit. Why not? Because it can help or it can hurt. It's a double-edged sword. The free will, watch that, when dictated by the ego, of the individual mind, causes that individual, that human being, you ready, to feel separate from who? God. Why? It edges God out. The ego don't know God. And what happened? This delusion, okay, that the ego is under without knowledge of God is ignorant, so it's under delusional state of mind, and it leads to what? To develop ideas related to its own feelings and desires, which is not good. Why? Because it don't know no better. It don't know itself, so it don't know God. And watch this. And these egoistic, leading feelings and desires will now lead to the performance of, you ready? The egoistic acts in the egoistic acts in an effort to constantly satisfy what? Those perceived needs, those physical pleasures of the body and desires. In this pursuit of fulfilling of those desires in the relative world, the physical world, of the mind and the senses, the body, what happened? It leading the soul, who don't know no better, to experience, now it's going to experience pain, it's going to sorrow, it's going to have frustration, it's going to go through a whole bunch of negative things that it didn't have nothing to do with, but it had to experience. Why? Because the body took it through it, and because these can never be 100% satisfied, it's going to end an endless loop. A chain of constantly doing the same thing over and over. Sound familiar? And watch this. They knew that a long time ago. Frustration leads to what? More negative actions in search of what? More earthly fulfillments, pleasures of the flesh, or the cardinal use, they tell you. But it's all trying to please what? The self. That's never good. And why? It'll never be satisfied. The devil ain't never pleased. Is he? Well, God will tell you what? Still yourself, Lord, I'm God. And if you do it right, he will say what? Well done, my good and faithful servant. The devil will never give that kind of praise. Moving on. I'm just saying. I'm going to end the lesson. I see the clock. But my throat getting dry. I got something to drink. And I got something else to do. But this is lesson. I'm having more fun with this as I get into it. Hope you're following along. Hope you're getting something out of it. That's my point. That's the lesson for the day. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinker. And remember, those who practice and live my don't pass away.